Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Our first Litmos Live from our quarantine stations, as you can see here. My name is Mike. I'll be the MC today, spinning some amazing tips for you with my guests over here. I'm really excited to bring this to you today. First of all, in these difficult and unprecedented times, thank you so much for taking the time to jump in and really engage with us. And we're excited to do that too, because I've seen nothing but my family for the last, I love them, don't get me wrong, but my goodness, I don't know that we're supposed to spend that much time in such close quarters together. And maybe some of you are feeling the same thing, but I'm wishing you all the best health and happiness as we go along, and super excited to bring some new tips and tricks to you. 5 things you didn't know you could do in Litmos. And this is actually the beginning of a web series that we want to keep doing to offer more opportunities for you to engage with us here at Litmos, to ask questions, to create that relationship that I know when I was a customer that I really appreciated most about the product and the people and the team that brought it there. So we love you. We're excited. We're going to bring you some stuff today. We're going to try to answer all the questions that you have. So we have a lot to get through today. So I'm not going to take a ton of time, and we started right on time. I want to honor that for you. And we'll jump right in. So let's introduce the team that you got here today first. So coming at you, the folks that are going to be working with you today, myself, I'm the head of customer experience and training here at Litmos. I was actually a customer before I became part of the team and put on the colors, as I call it, put on the jersey and decided to wear the Lenny proudly because I really appreciated and loved the product and the people behind it. So I started with Litmos in about 2016 at the end of that, and have been working my way towards really taking care of all of you in the post-sale world, right? Account managers and your onboarding and all of those types of things. And I was a trainer, as you can tell. I'm a little bit gregarious, but yes, that's my background as well. So I'm excited to be doing this stuff here. Let's introduce Josh next. Josh, take a second. Take it away, bud.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks, Mike. My name is Josh. I work actually directly with Mike. My main responsibility right now is creating the content in the Litmos Dojo and creating the training content to train all of our awesome customers. But in doing so, you might see my title says Instructional Media Digital Content Designer. I think the core of that is I'm a designer. I do a lot of web design, a lot of UI design internally, and then also for our customers. So I do specialize in instance customization, which is a little bit of what I'll be covering today. But yeah, excited to talk with you and share some cool tips with you. And I guess I can toss it over to Gabe.
All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Gabe Vasquez, and I've been working with Litmos for a little over 5 years at this point. I've worn several hats during my time with Litmos, and I've seen it grow a ton, which is awesome. And it kind of gives me that background knowledge as to how we're implementing the product and growing and building it. I started out doing support, so I have a really good foundation of our customers' perspective and maybe things that we need to improve and why, and understanding that. And I also have a really good visibility of all the use cases, or a lot of the use cases that are happening in Litmos. Starting out in support, I went over to onboarding. I did some time with the Litmos mentorship, and right now I'm carrying the title as Technical Account Manager, and then I'm also helping out with the Dojo 2.0 content as well, along with the webinars. So ultimately, I'm here to help our customers excel and sharing knowledge with you guys to help you utilize the tool best you can.
Fantastic, Gabe. Now, Gabe and Josh are my go-tos, by the way. Like anytime during this session, if you hear me say, I don't know, what do you think, Gabe? It's because I don't know. I mean, these guys here, him and Josh both, they are fantastic, and I appreciate them being on the call. And as we do more of these, we're going to bring in some more guests, but these two are going to be fixtures for sure for what we're going to be doing today. So let's talk about a broad, just a 30,000-foot view of what we're going to talk about today. Super excited about it. And one of the big things we're going to be talking about is the content library, right? Ability to navigate your content library, tracking changes in your account. We're going to be looking at integrating Google Analytics if you haven't done that before, so that you can have a little bit more data to understand what's going on in your instance. Custom fields is always one that we get a lot of questions from. HTML tags and further customization of your instance is just so important. We know that the way that it looks, the way that it feels, the way that people interact with it is such a big indicator of whether they're going to come back and stay engaged. Because you think about it, if it wasn't that way, we should be able just to put up paragraphs and paragraphs of paper, or I'm sorry, of content on a white background, and that should be just as good as the stuff that you're seeing. But we know that's not the case. People want engagement. The brain craves novelty. We want things to be interesting. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today and how you can do some small things in your instance to make big changes in that engagement that you have there. So without further ado, let's jump in. What do you guys think? You want to do it? Yeah, I think it's time for sure. The first one that we're going to cover today, tip number one, is we're going to be talking about the content library and using topics and subtopics is what we're going to be talking about today. I think super, super important to be talking about topics and subtopics because you can really figure out and get everything really dialed in as to how people have a simple experience when they come to find exactly what they need. And you know, I love doing things in bulk. Like me, I'm a big Costco shopper. I gotta say now though, I feel like it's a different story. I don't know if you've gone to your local Costco's lately, but man, it's like full armor and helmets, and wow, it's interesting. But we like doing things in bulk. We like being able to organize. And today we're going to talk, the first tip we're going to be talking about is using subtopics or topics and subtopics even better than you are probably today, and the importance of that. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to Gabe, who's going to walk you through this piece here. Uh-oh,
So,
you're on mute, Gabe.
yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me now? All
Yeah,
right.
we got you.
So yeah, definitely. Let's go ahead and discuss. So the first point that we're going to discuss is improving your learner's ability to navigate through the course library. And this is something that I see a lot of our legacy customers not utilizing because topics and subtopics are fairly recent. I would say within the last, 2 years or so. Newer customers are taking advantage of it, but sometimes they'll go into accounts, see that they have a ton of courses offered in their course library, and the only tool to use to navigate through that course library is for the most part the search bar. Now that's a great tool, but you can also take it a step further, organizing your content using topics and subtopics, and creating a 3-tier tree dropdown, which really helps your learners focus and hone in on the content that they're looking for. So we're looking at a demo environment right now, and just kind of to start off, a lot of customers don't realize that, you know, you'll see topics and subtopics under course settings, but enabling it, you know, what does that do? What's the impact, and what does it change with my account? Am I just adding additional tags to my course that I can report on? No, I mean, of course you are, yes, but you're also, it's impacting your learner view, and it's allowing them a much deeper dive into your content. So if you've already had a ton of courses in here and you've been using Litmos for quite some time, maybe you don't really want to pursue that, but it is worth checking it out. We'll go into how to update your courses with topics in just a moment, but I'd like to show you what the impact is on the learner side. So let's go ahead and navigate to Learner View, and we're going to go to the content library. Topics and subtopics are, for now, only shown in the course library. And this is what the course library is right here. You know, if you're a larger customer, and there's a few different strategies I see happening with accounts as of now. Some customers will do straight up assigning courses. This is required content. You have no option but to take it. In that case, your learners are probably spending most of their time on the home tab, the dashboard. But the other strategy that I see becoming a lot more popular is hey, here's all this content. You choose your own path as a learner, and you go in the direction that you want. So maybe you want to go in the management direction. You want to learn how to do management, or maybe you want to go in the developer path. That's where topics and subtopics will help a lot, because all of your content is offered in the course library because it's self-registration. So I set up just a few topics, and these are just for demo purposes only. So the courses that fall in these topics may not actually be relevant, but I did want to show you what it looks like. So this is what the topic looks like, and once you start adding additional branches to your topics and subtopics, you're going to see a little arrow, a little caret point out. Let's look at marketing. So here's a little caret right here. So under the marketing, if I just click on that topic, I can get specifically all the courses in that entire course library that we're looking at under the marketing topic. I can go a step further. There's 2 additional subtopics under there. External marketing. How do I market to my external customers? Now there's 3 courses in there. To go a step further, I want to go to how do I market my contractors, or how do I market to our partners? So there's additional steps in there. And now we only have 1 course in there. So you're really, really providing your learners, you know, it can be overwhelming to sit here and look at all this. And if you have it in tile view, it's like, oh no, where do I go? What am I going to do? So topics and subtopics are very useful in that sense. And once again, a lot of customers who have been a long time Litmos customer, you know, may not understand the impact of that. So for the most part, that's really how you would use topics and subtopics. Looking at it from admin view under the settings, you may not know what that result would be by adding them. So hopefully by showing you right now the results, you may go back and think about adding topics and subtopics to your courses.
Let me ask you a quick question, Gabe, on that. I know that there's also categories, right? Like Litmos has the ability to put in categories, and there are a lot of questions that I get around categories versus topics and subtopics, whether when to use one or the other, should you be using both? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So once again, you know, if you're a long-time Litmos customer, you know that categories have been around for quite some time. And then we have topics and subtopics, which are fairly new. In full honesty, I would say try to use both. They both have different purposes. Categories don't really show in learner view. You can see them in the course library as well, but it's only 1 category per course. You can have several categories per course, but just one, or I'm sorry, just 1 category per course. Whereas topics and subtopics are more of a navigational tool for your learners. Categories would come into play a lot with reporting. So if you're really trying to categorize your courses in reporting, let's say, for example, your company is doing training on multiple different groups within your organization, or they're doing multiple different types of training in your organization. So for example, you know, health, HIPAA type of, you know, sanitary compliance training. You're going to categorize that as a specific type of training versus how to deal with your disgruntled colleagues. So you're then using categories in reporting versus topics and subtopics, which are going to be a useful tool to your learners.
Great. We had a question. Would they use categories for other languages, or would that be brands or more? Would you categorize stuff if you wanted to put things in, break it out of languages, or would you use like topics and subtopics for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. We actually just came out with languages in itself. So languages should be built into your account right here, course languages. And once you add a language to your course, you're actually going to see your own. It's going to look like a topic. It's going to look like a topic, but it'll say language, and then it'll list all of your languages. So prior to that, topics and subtopics were the best route, but now you have a native feature.
Great.
And great. Gabe, I was just going to say, if you wanted to refresh the page, looks like that CSS wasn't designed. That's a little custom CSS that I built in there, but I didn't design it to handle the subtopics. So I took it away so you have a little bit of a cleaner
look at that magic
look.
You just
yeah, that's a good
right there. Look at that on the fly.
There you go.
Nobody look behind the curtain.
All right.
There it is. We'll be talking about that later too. It'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah, and one thing that I do want to just point out as well, and kind of going back to legacy customers who maybe already have 200 courses, like, do you really expect me to go through each course and add topics and subtopics? Not necessarily. And we've added a feature that'll allow you to assign topics and subtopics to your existing courses. So if you go to import courses in bulk, actually there are, we have a feature that allows you to import new courses in bulk. But you can also update existing courses with new content. And it works just like the people user bulk import. And you know that you don't have to, you can update user profile information by using their username. Same thing happens in the course import bulk feature, but you have to use the course code. The course code is found under course settings. It's a unique code that we provide. So despite what you change, the name of the course, that code is going to stay consistent. And then you can add up to 3 topics to a course. So
can you show us that real quick? Can you click on that choose file? yeah, just open the template. Will it share if you look at it real quick? Just to give that look. I mean, again, this is the same. Yeah, this is the same as the people upload, right? The bulk upload. And again, remember, you can either do it to get them all in there the first time, or you can do it to update those that are there before, right? It will update and put things in there. So as you can see here, when Gabe's looking through there, you can look at it and you can start to put in the course code, put in there, and then you can put in up to 3 topics or subtopics in there, and it will drop it into the right place. But remember that you need to have that that hierarchy built out before you do this. It's not gonna build that when you do it. It'll just go to nothing. It will evaporate because it doesn't have anywhere to put it until you build that hierarchy out. So there is a little bit of a sunk cost, right, where you can get in and you have to look at all of that. Yeah. How do we get a master list of course codes? That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great question. So, yep, you can go ahead and run a report for that. Let's go ahead and go to the reports tab. We'll go to courses, and it's going to be a really simple courses quick report. Right here, I have a list of all the courses within my account. We'll go to not filter. We're going to come over here, and we're just going to go ahead and do course code.
So click the little hamburger icon there, and then, yeah, then it'll bring up all the codes for all your courses there. Perfect.
Yep. And then you'll just go ahead and you got it. Yep. Export those into. Now, one thing to note is topic 1, 2, 3. That's topic number 1, topic number 2, and topic number 3. That's not topic layer 1, layer 2, layer 3. Yeah. Yeah. So you can add up to 3 topics per course. Course is going to be in several topics, and you can only do up to 3 at a time. So if you want to add a course to multiple topics beyond 3, you'll just need to do another import with that same course code. One more thing I do want to point out is that sure, you can add the course codes under the course setting and you can kind of build as you go, but that's not really recommended. Maybe after you've imported 50 courses, you come up with a new topic that you could use. Then you have to go back, right? So that's not working very efficiently. I would suggest going to account settings from the very beginning and then going to Litmos features and looking at the topics and subtopics feature from a whole. So here we go, topics. I can come over here and start designing my entire structure. And that way, when I go to a course setting, I can just pick and choose from the drop down. And I'm not adding as I go. That can get kind of messy. So you'll want to come here and let's look at the one that I just did. So fast track onboarding. And then you start building out your layer and your hierarchy right here. So yeah, it'll take a little bit of upfront, design and kind of strategy wise, but once you have it, your learners will thank you.
Fantastic, great questions. We got a bunch here. I wasn't expecting so many. I'm trying to answer them. So if you see me looking away and typing, I'm really not chatting. I'm not on the social media. I'm trying to answer the questions as I have a moment in there too. So thank you so much for that. Topics and subtopics are such an important piece to keeping the order and the sanity in your system, and that's what I think is really something to take away from this, is that you look back through and do a quick assessment of how easy is it for a customer, or I call it a customer, but a learner of yours, to be able to find what they need quickly. And again, remember, we have one of the questions here too was about subtopics and topics versus learning paths. Remember, a learning path can be assigned. That's like a series of content, of courses. It's a programmatic type thing that can be assigned to people, where when you have topics and subtopics, that's just for organizational purposes in the library, so they can find stuff there. So that's the big difference there. One of the things we're not covering today, but we will get into in the next one for sure, is the collections, right? So we have all sorts of cool new stuff that we just came out with. Collections, being able to put together collections of courses and such that can all be assigned together. How is that different than a learning path? We'll cover all of that stuff in a later one. And some of the questions we probably won't get to today because I've already got like 60 on here. I'll do my best to respond to them. And some of them too are about other things, like, hey, I want to talk about this. It's like, okay, I appreciate you putting those in there. And what we'll do is we'll use those for the next webinars that we come up with, if they're really important things. The topics we chose this time were things that Gabe in his infinite wisdom and history, right, and Josh and I have seen come up quite a bit from other customers. So with that being said, let's move on to the second one. Really excited to have Josh take this one on out there on assignment. Josh out on assignment. We're going to be talking, this one is going to be about using Google Analytics to really get into some details. And Josh, take it away.
Definitely. Let me just share my screen, show my
Oh,
window.
yeah.
Does everybody see my screen? There we go. All right, so yeah, I appreciate you handing it off to me, Mike. Gabe lightly touched a little bit on the reporting tool and how you can kind of pull data from your account. But one awesome thing that we can do to get a little bit added layer of insight and data is actually integrate with Google Analytics. Let me just show you really quickly. I'm sure everybody here has seen the reporting side of Litmos. This is the Admin View Reports tab. You've got your quick reports here. You can see your login activity or your usage reports and your quick reports here. And then you can also access a pretty robust reporting engine where you're able to export this data and schedule it to be sent out to the powers that be that need to see it. And also, you can take it the step further where you work this export data into APIs that then maybe kick back other information for you. But I'm actually going to step away from our reporting engine and actually show you what it looks like in Google Analytics. And this is simply done through, this takes about 5 minutes to set up. If you go to analytics.google.com and you just sign up for an account, if you are an account owner within Litmos and you have access to the custom header tab, all you need to do is essentially, I'll walk through really quickly where it's located, but just need to copy and paste a bunch of text that you get from this website from Google Analytics, and that will connect the two together, and you'll be able to get an even deeper insight into your Litmos account through this analytics platform. So this is really great if you already have or already using Google Analytics in your company's workflow. It's a really popular tool, and again, this is a free to set up, and there's also paid versions of it too that get you into a little bit of deeper features. But as you can see, this is actually our website data from the dojo, and this is just kind of an audience overview from the first of this year. So you can kind of see all of our users, and you can see when it peaks and when it goes down. Funnily enough, Sunday and Saturday are the days with the least users. I don't
Quite a
blame you
pattern
guys.
there, isn't it?
Yeah,
the
exactly.
the wave is consistent. That's good. That's good.
Absolutely, and you kind of can get like some deeper insight into some of the pages that are being viewed. So pages, of course, will have a URL, and that URL is tied to a course. So there needs to be a little bit of cross-referencing to figure out which ones are your most viewed pages. But that's just a little bit of Excel work, but you can make a lot of cool things happen. Just even like going into like this is stuff that you just can't get with Litmos. Just a demographic flow. Let's go check out the age of people in the dojo, right? As you can see, as I hover over, I'm seeing that, on Thursday, January 30th, we had 99 users. It's a little small on my screen. And you can see from ages between 25 and 34, there were 32 people. And then we had 14 people who were 55 through 64. So that's really valuable insight for your marketing team and anybody else who's creating your training if you want insight onto that sort of
just how to create the training,
demographic
right?
behavior.
Yeah, for different folks.
Absolutely.
Right?
Make it relevant. Obviously, we get a pretty widespread since we're a diverse company and we have clients of all ages. But some people might have like we have a customer, Tobacco Free Kids for America, and they're focused on keeping kids tobacco free. So a lot of their users are actually going to be young, under the age bracket actually. So you'll see that there, and if they see some other activity, that might be some valuable insight for them to just address that. Say, hey, we noticed you're taking this training. Yeah, but you can kind of this is just some real-time analytics. You can really click around here and oops, resource not available. Just kind of see everything, and you can just change the time frame for really as long as you want to go out. And this data becomes active the moment you add a website to your account. So I would just really quickly in like 2 minutes just show you how you can add a Google Analytics account create a Google Analytics account, and then add that tracking code to your website. So first of all, you have to go to analytics.google.com and then register with your email, and then you'll get to the admin screen where you create an account. And then let's just do sample account, make this fast, show you. You could say I want to measure a website because Litmos is a website, and then I'll just write Litmos sample here, dojo.litmos.com. Actually, let me just do dojo2.litmos.com.
You have to put in the URL. Yeah. Okay. So you tell it what it is. Put in the URL.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. And this is going to be your Litmos URL. So you just create this. You have to accept their terms. Everything obviously is GDPR regulated, so you have to abide by that, and that's what that is. And then boom, it takes you to the tracking code site immediately. And this is what you need to copy and paste into your Litmos header. I'll show you on this Dojo 2 website exactly where that is. If you go into, this is my customized Dojo instance. It's something that we're working on. It's a little bit of a prototype. So you're kind of seeing behind the scenes, right?
It's Dojo 2. It's the next iteration. So look at you getting a sneak peek.
Exactly. This is behind the scenes. This is the admin side of it. So even the admin side looks cool. But so I wanted to add that tracking code to the website. So I would add it to this custom header section right here in the themes page. Take note, it's not the banner HTML, it's actually the custom header. And this header tag is on every single one of your sub pages in Litmos. So basically this tracking tag will be there for Google to pick up. So once I hit save right there, I've actually just added Google Analytics to my dojo2.litmos account. And then right away, there's not going to really be anything because it takes a little while to sync up and the data to start kicking. But after a day or two, you'll start seeing where your traffic is coming from. You can see your page views, and then you'll get insight on real-time activity too. So I think that, yeah, it's a kind of a high-level overview of how going to get this set up. I don't want to go too far deep into it, but I think that might at least shed some cool insight to some people. And I mean, I could just keep this screen up so you can just see like all these different awesome charts and graphs. If you're a data junkie, you can just go ham on this, and then all this data is all obviously exportable to Excel CSV files, so you can pull reports and do whatever you need to do with this data. And also you can see how closely it mirrors our own reporting engine to see that, hey, these are actually pretty accurate results from both a reporting engine and also from Google Analytics. It's also kind of cool to see that too. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that bit.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah. So I mean, again, putting that code in there it's invisible. It doesn't show up anywhere. I mean, it's not going to impact your site other than to give you more visibility into this. And it looks like a pretty straightforward process to sign up for a free account, to be able to load the target URL in there like you did, and then to take the code and just drop it in the header, and you're good to go with that. So for those of you that want a little bit more than what you have in the tool now, there are ways, and there's one of those right there. Fantastic. Well done. We're doing great on time, zipping around. I'm answering as many questions as I can. Some of them are a little more engaged if I haven't gotten to yours yet. Trying to stay focused and do that. It's a lot of work for sure. So we're going to move on next back to Gabe, because Gabe's awesome. So we want to hear from Gabe, and he's going to be talking to us next about custom fields. And that's a fantastic topic, because custom fields are magical. They really are. I mean, you can do reports on them. You can assign courses with Litmos Assign automation based on custom fields. If you're not using them now and you want to make your life a little easier, listen up. There might be some really good gems in here as well. So Gabe, all you, bud.
All right, yeah, we are going to be discussing custom fields, and in this particular scenario, we're discussing custom fields in a particular module. And this is a feature that we've actually had implemented for quite some time. The few customers that I've seen use it are using it super cool, but not a lot of people know how to use it or think about using it. So basically, at a really high level, this one's going to take a few screen changes to show you because it's kind of intricate. But the really high level approach is that, and result is that you're using one course, in specifically one module, to create a dynamic experience for every single learner who goes in there, which may be a different experience, right? So let's just say the example that I am going to go off of is going to be onboarding. I use that example a lot. That's what I do a lot of the time. So let's say you're onboarding a new employee, and that new employee is going to be doing a specific role within your organization. You can use the same Litmos account or Litmos course and Litmos module to train them on specific roles catered to them. So let's go ahead and show you what I mean by dynamically changing that specific module. Let's go ahead and first I'll show you the setup, and then I'll show you what it's like from the learner perspective. So we're going to go over here to recently reviewed, because I was working on this one, recently viewed, and it's training 101. Josh is going to kill me because I didn't put a course tile in there. I know, sorry. But let's go ahead and look at these right here. It's the module that we're discussing is linked to another website module, and that's what both of these modules are. So I have two examples of what you can do. So industry, let's just go ahead and go into industry, and this is going to be training somebody on a specific industry. And so what you'll see is the module title, we know all that, and this is what we're going to go ahead and use right here. We're going to use this feature. A lot of customers will just glance over it and put their link in there, and that's fine, but I want to show you how powerful it can be. The link right here that we're linking to is going to be litmos.com/solutions, and then you'll see we went ahead and put a placeholder, user custom field 1. We put that in the URL. Now what that's going to do is it's going to put whatever is in the learner's custom field 1 into this link URL, and whatever is in that custom field could change per learner. So let's go ahead and show you the result of that. Hopefully it'll makes a little bit more sense when I show you, but that field value could be different. So let's go ahead and go to learner view, and just really quick, I also want to show you what my profile settings are, kind of give you an idea. So we'll go ahead and scroll down, and these are the additional information. These are the fields we're working off of: custom field 1, custom field 2, custom field 3. And let's, I think it was referencing custom field 1. So industry, I'm doing employee learning. I'm going to be training my employees on how to train. So going to the home page, let's go ahead and look at training 101. And I'm going to go into this module, and it's going to take me to litmos.com/employee training, right? So now I'm looking directly at the page that I need to see. And let's just say, for example, you know, this is onboarding again, and Litmos wants you to do reading on what employee training is. You need to know what we're telling our customers employee training is. So you come here and you learn. I'm still within the module player. Now let's go ahead and look at another example that I have. Oops, not that. Let's go ahead and look at another example that I have, and this is a different employee. This is Gina, right? So we're going to go ahead and log in as Gina, and we're going to go ahead and go to that same exact course, Training 101, and we're going to go to industry training right here, first module. Now, Gina might be training on a different topic, right? She's actually doing customer training. So it still took us to litmos.com, but it took us to the customer training page. So now we're creating a dynamic experience using the same module, but specifying it. And I'll give you a few use cases when we're done, but let's go ahead and take a look at the next slide, right? So maybe the next slide is, I think it was mentor, right? So as a new employee, now that I've read up on what Litmos is telling everybody, now I need to go ahead and I need to create a session with my mentor. So we're going to go to the next module, and I happen to be Gina's mentor, right? So now we're using Calendly, which is another tool that you can use to schedule meetings with. And now Gina can, within the Litmos module, go ahead and set up a time with Gabe Baskets, who is her assigned mentor. And this information is in her custom field in her profile, right? So let's go ahead and show you the example of me now. Still in the module player, this is Gabe Baskets, me. We're going to go to next module. I'm planning to meet with my mentor, and my mentor is Lenny Litmus. So it's pulling all this information and placing it into the URL that I'm linking and creating that entirely dynamic experience. I don't need to create different courses and different modules for different users. It's pulling all this information right here. So hopefully that makes sense to you as how it's doing that. And one thing that I want to point out is, I guess, use cases. How can you use this? If you look at the, let's go back to admin view, and let's go back and look at the training. If you're integrating multiple systems together, and let's just say, for example, the username is the same in Litmos as it is in your HRIS system or your CRM, and the username is the unique identifier, you can put a link in here, right? And you can use username. It's going to take you to that page. So maybe a part of your Litmos onboarding is for them to go to their other profile in another system and update their profile there, or do a quick training there. You can create that and put that exact location in the module, placing them there. Maybe I am training on different offices. So you would do sap.com/San Ramon, and that would pull from the location in your user profile. Maybe it's /Palo Alto, maybe it's /San Francisco location. You can create a very dynamic experience using all of these custom fields right here.
Wow, that's great stuff. I'm learning today too. That's some incredibly cool dynamic stuff. Couple questions for you. One I had here. Let me scroll down. From Robert Cleary, he asks, how do you determine what URL is linked to the user custom field?
Yeah, so that's a great question. You don't necessarily, so the URL has to work. You have to have this custom field value in that URL. Basically this URL, it's mapping directly to whatever is in my custom field. So let's go ahead and show you again what that looks like. Right here, it says user custom field 1, right? So that's what I'm putting in here. And then over here, under my profile, this is user custom field 1 right here.
Share your screen, bud.
And it's,
sure.
It's all good.
I guess that works.
It's all good.
There we go.
We're doing the best we can.
Okay. So this is custom field 1. The value is employee learning, and that's the industry that I'm in. Over here in the module settings, the URL is litmos.com/solutions, and then it's just going to put in right here employee training. It's going to put that same value in there. So that has to be a part of your use case. Another use case that I've seen is like surveys, for example, and they're using a tool like SurveyMonkey or something along those lines. And the surveys are being recorded under your user profile, and your username in that survey tool is the same username in Litmos. So they're using the username field, and then that survey tool knows who's putting in the survey because it's creating its own form specifically for that user. So it's a fairly specific use case, but a lot of tools cater to that. So it kind of has to work in sync like that, though. The URL cannot change. It has to have a dynamic kind of finish.
That's great. This looks like something we should be building some courses on. I'd like to see us put something like this in the dojo. Speaking of that, just to touch base on one more question here. Can you link a Litmos course to a course inside of Litmos Dojo? I would say yes, but then you still have to have an account in Litmos Dojo, right? For it to, you still have to log back into that. Like it would open it and it would say, hey, log into the dojo. You'd log in and then it would go to the course. Is that, do I have that right? Yeah.
Technically, yes.
I like that. Okay.
I'd want to try it. I don't know if Litmos as a platform is allowing other sites to iframe the LMS. We'd have to check, but that would be how you would execute it. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic.
You just probably have to re-enter your credentials.
Yeah, I'm thinking it would be that. I mean, we just open up the URL. Again, stuff we haven't tested yet. Yeah, let's get in there and see what happens. Gabe, thank you so much for that look. I think that is something I had no visibility on, to be honest. And I was a customer for what, 6 years. That's pretty interesting. That's some great stuff there. I think I'd like to create us as a team to create some more training around that, so that we can have that as a something people can come in and take a course or grab a white sheet or something to that. Would be great. Okay, appreciate that. We're gonna go back to Josh now, back out in our out there in the world. Yeah, I love it. I feel like, I don't know, I'm sorry. I just feel like it's a weatherman thing. This is, I apologize for that.
You know,
We're just trying to have some fun and
just,
stay sane here, everybody.
I need to be one with nature. That's what's going on right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you have a baby
Exactly.
inside. Yeah, I think we all understand why. I mean, baby's napping is incredibly important.
This is true. This is true. I've got an almost 8-month-old inside me. It's his nap time, so I can't do that.
So topic number 4.
Me out to the backyard.
Oh yeah, she did. She pushed out. Topic number 4 we're going to get into now is using background HTML tags to customize and personalize your design. So now we're getting into more of the look, the feel, how you can make it look pretty, right? Josh, take it away. What do you got?
Oh yeah, there's this one really cool trick that we can do in Litmos. I mean, I've talked a lot about customization before, so I can kind of give a general overview of that. But what I really love about Litmos is you can really customize the look and feel of any sort of panel, line of text, the colors, the background behind everything is all adjustable through the custom CSS field. So first of all, yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, you want to make sure that your Litmos instance mirrors your brand. In an ideal world, it should be a transitional, like a almost seamless transition between your website and your Litmos instance. And we do kind of give you the fields to enable that, which is what I love. So technically, I mean, the potential is unlimited with a lot of, I don't want to say unlimited because there's definitely a limit, but it depends on your resources in-house. If you have some HTML and CSS gurus, that's fantastic. There are a lot of development agencies that specialize in HTML and CSS. And through Litmos, customized Litmos, it's a little bit of a specialized workflow. There's different ways to do it. And we've actually built out a course in the dojo, actually a learning path in the dojo, all about instance customization. It's called the Instance Customization Pro. So everybody who's on this call has been in the dojo. That's how we pulled your emails names to email this out to you. So I'm sure you all have seen someone another seen the dojo. If you go to the content library, you can just find all these instance customization courses, and I really break down how to edit the CSS, HTML, and the finer things in Litmos to really fine tune it and make it look like your company's look and feel. One really cool trick that I actually just recently learned, it's actually been around for a while though, is the use of these fields right here. You can all see my screen. These are HTML tags that will work in your HTML custom header for your website, for your Litmos instance. These will not work in your banner HTML or anywhere else within your Litmos instance, or I don't even think it will work in the footer, but these will definitely work in the header. So you can pull in the user's profile's first name, the last name, their actual username if you want. The best part, I probably think, is the profile image. So you can manipulate where you want to display that. And then you could also link into their profile and then give them the option, if they're an admin, that they'll be able to switch to admin view and also sign out too. Let me just show you what it looks like on this dojo too that we're working on. You can see right here, there's this top bit that I'm essentially talking about right here. I've been able to pull in the profile image for my user, and it says, "Welcome, Josh Barton." That's actually my info that I've put into my account profile and settings page. So it's actually dynamically pulling this, and of course it will be different for every user. I wanted to show you, yeah, and you can change the look and feel of this with CSS. You can change the height, you can change the location. If you have it in the header, you can also do things where with CSS you can place it in an absolute position on a page. So technically I would have to enter this in my header, which I'll go and show you right here. That's the Google tag that we added earlier. And this right here is the script for this custom header. And you can see right there, I'll try zooming in to make it a little bit more visible for you guys. You can see right here, it's, if anybody knows HTML, they can see this is a table built out. But I kind of want to point to is we're referencing this profile image source within the code. So we can dynamically insert these things like username and profile username, very much like how our email templates are set up in Litmos, where you can kind of customize fields that will be filled in later. So yeah, that is just one little tooltip. And then this bit that's built out is actually directly pulled from a support article, which I'll include a link to this, which has all the sample code. So you can just kind of copy and paste. Apologize for our old green branding. This needs to be updated, but the code still is relevant and still works. So this is essentially, this has a little bit more than what I showed you. It's got the sign out link too. But essentially I kind of showed you this little bit right here, and you just, all you need to do is just enter in your customer company URL for your logo. Would be just like a PNG link, and then this would populate in your header. And then again, like I said, this is all further customizable through CSS. So if you want your logo to be bigger or smaller, or be maybe somewhere else, or not be there, you can edit that on the fly and kind of change that to whatever you need. And we've gotten a lot of questions too, just especially for this. People probably want to refer back to it. Will this recording be available yet later? Yes, definitely. We're recording this now. And actually, it's my intention in when we launch the next round of the dojo, which is coming up soon, that this will actually be built into an indexable course. So we'll have the different talking points that we're talking about, and then I'll have that video bit for those sort of sections. In addition to that, I'll make sure that we include any of the additional references that we mentioned, like this links to these sample code sites, and maybe instructions again on how to get Google Analytics into your account and set up. So yeah, I think that kind of covers that bit at a high level overview. Was that, what do you think about that, Mike? Have any other questions? Man. Or yeah,
can I add I just want to add really quickly to this that there's a few things. If you go down this route, you turn on custom header, it's going to completely, when you turn on custom header, it's going to completely remove what the default header is. And so what you need, the point of that is the default header has my setting, my profile, sign out, everything. So if you're going to go down this route, you really need to include the sign out tag and the edit profile tag. Because a few times we've made cool designs for demos, and then you're like, I can't sign out because we didn't put the button there. Switch view is also really important too. Even if you need to include switch view in your design, even if you're designing for learner view, or it's easy to forget. But when an admin logs in, they need the switch view button. So make sure you add switch view and sign out, unless you don't want your learners to ever log out. But I've seen some really cool, like, I've seen some really cool, like, type-driven designs where it says, "Hi, Gabe," really big and big letters, and the photos over here in the corner. You can really customize that experience, and that's, you know, Josh knows all about it. That's all about the learner experience. They log in, they have that personal touch, and it helps.
So what you're saying is they need to add a big old sign out button right here.
Yeah, that's right. I think the two things to keep in mind here is that you can honestly update it to your heart's desire. I mean, we have customers on the high end that are, I mean, just doing things. It doesn't even look like Litmos anymore, right? They've been able to make it just look seamless to their brands and such. And yes, that takes a lot to get to that point, but you don't have to do all of that to make it clean, right? Just don't overload your page, make it custom in some way that make it look like they look like home, right? Like when they show up, it feels like what your thing feels like, and your brand, your look, your feel, and what you want them to get out of it. So we just wanted to showcase a few little things that you could do there. And remember, this is the first one of these. there are a ton of topics that we could be covering, and we can go in depth on this. And I think we're even going to do another one that is less us talking and more just let's answer questions, right? Like free for all. Like, okay, we're going to be talking about, maybe give a topic, like we're going to talk about dashboards and who ask questions about that. And then we'll just talk show it so stick with us, right? And understand that we're trying to work out a good flow of just how to connect with you more. And that's the whole point of this, right? Is if we can't connect with you one-on-one, maybe we can connect with you more this way, and we're trying to create more opportunities. So we have about 10 minutes left for the last topic. I don't think it'll take super long, so we might have a few minutes at the end to go through the list and see if we can answer some of these questions as we go. Last one goes back to Gabe to talk about how you could track everything that is changed in your account, when you can see when people will are making changes, when they're updating courses, when all the things that are happening, when emails are sent out. Here's a unique way for you to do that if you don't know this already.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is I'll go over this one pretty quickly because you'll want to drill through it and figure out what works for you. But it's mostly just kind of almost a hidden feature, I guess I'd say. So on your dashboard, the only way to access the activity log is if you have the activity widget on your dashboard. And now you can customize the dashboard. So if you're not using it, then you might not even know that you have access to this. And if you go to show all activity, it's going to bring you to the entire activity of your entire account. And it's going to show you a very holistic view. Now, you can always go to the People tab, and I can look at Gina Earl and see what Gina has been doing specifically. But I just want to see what emails are going out from I want to see what's happening in my account as a whole. Right here, you can just ultimately see all of the actions that are happening in this account. And over here, there's a filter, and I can go ahead and expand it to the categories. And these are all the tracking that we offer in regards to reporting. So let's just say, for example, settings. I'm going to go ahead and look at these settings, and I can see who's been changing what, who's been changing settings, who's been changing course settings, who's been changing theme updates, who's responsible for deleting that header, who's been doing what. And I see this a lot this need for this a lot in accounts where you have multiple account owners and multiple admins. A lot of support tickets will come in and they'll say, who did this? I need to know. And it's like, well, we'll tell them to come to the activity log, and they'll be like, I didn't even know that existed. So this is a really powerful tool. If you only have a few admins in your account, then maybe you can just kind of connect with them. But you can see all emails as a whole as well too. This is another pretty useful one. What emails are going out to which users? And then you can also add a date range as well on your reporting. The one thing that I do want to note is that I would recommend at least once every 30 days or so coming in here and downloading the reports that you might want to reference later on. For GDPR reasons, we do have to archive these reports. I believe it's every 60 days. It could be 60 or 90. But regardless, if this is a tool that you really want to reference a lot and keep logs of, just go ahead and use the download tool and keep those logs on your end. But yeah, I mean, that's all it really is for the most part. And we're continuously adding events and new categories to the activity log. So if you don't see anything, if you don't see what you're looking for here right now, feel free to reach out and suggest additional items that you would like to see. This is a fairly new feature, and we're continuously adding new categories to it.
Yeah, we hear a lot from our customers about just wanting to know more visibility on a global of who's doing what and what's going on and what emails are being sent out and what's happening in the system. So I'm glad that you pointed that out. Well done. We have 6 minutes left. Look at that. That is a good time. You think almost that we know what we're doing. This is great. We really do. It's fantastic. But let's jump into some of these questions in here. And I'm just going to pick a few. We have what? I don't know. There's like 70 now. There's a lot in here. What I'm going to try to do is that the three of us will go through these and send out replies to the folks who are on here so that you can have that information if we can't get to it now in the next 6 minutes. Let's see. Glad to hear you're offering more trainings. Yeah, we are definitely. It's exciting. How can I use here? Let's try this one. How can I use the user field or custom field to be able to assign the user by employee or manager status based on office location too? Because they have 5 different office locations. Is that that's a little deeper question than what we were covering here, but That was an interesting one, I thought. Using
Yeah,
custom fields to assign the user by employee or manager status and office location. Huh.
employee or manager status and office location.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at that question. I can reply to that question offline.
Okay, great.
I don't really know if I understand it.
Okay. I think it's just using multiple things to assign. So we'll take a look at that one and get back to you on that one, Jen. Christina Pepper, I would love to ask the experts on specific topics. Absolutely. The reason that we started doing these again is we did one a couple of years ago where we just had that Ask the Expert, and it was just Gabe and I think Josh walked in on a couple of them. Well, you came into the background, you didn't know we were doing it, and we're in the studio. We're like, oh, hey, how are you? And then you walked out. But yes, we were definitely going to do that. So see, you've got the link to the coding. That's good. So that one's there. Will you support Adobe Connect in the future? That I have no information on. I wish I could tell you, but I don't know. I don't think any of us have that. We're not that far up the chain, I don't think. Let's see. What else? Can you Yeah, I like this one here from Annika. Yes, please build a course on this. It was kind of fast. Fantastic. And again, we're always looking for opportunities to add more value to the dojo and add more value to your instances. That's also something that's coming to put everybody, to give you a little information here. One of the thoughts too is that there are a lot of great courses in the dojo to learn how, and we get a lot of times customers are saying, hey, can we use the courses that are in there, the white belt, the green belt, the black belt? Can we use some of those to teach our learners or to teach our admins or the new people that come on board? So we've heard that enough. We're like, you know what, we really should do something about that. Interestingly now, that any new trial that spins up, when people start the trial, the white, the green, and the black belt courses are already in that trial, which means when they turn it public and turn it on to their production environments, then those courses are going to live in there. And the beauty is that they'll be automatically updated as we change them, which is super fun as well. So you're going to have that in there. Now, if you want that as the legacy customer, people who already have it, and you don't want to, and you want those courses that are in the dojo, just again, the white belt course, the black belt, and the green belt, all the modules in there, let us know. Shoot an email to your AM, but let us know if you want us to provision those courses to your instance, because we're just not going to do that. Because if we did and we dumped 70 modules and 3 courses into your account and you not know about it, you'd be like, right? I think you too tried that on the iPhone once and gave a free album away and people flipped, right? So there's a privacy there. So we're not going to do that just without consent is the issue, the thing there. So if it is something you're interested in, having those courses and being able to use those any which way you want to and pull them in to make your own course learning paths and that kind of thing, we can provision it now to your account, which is pretty cool. So that's also just a bonus thing I wanted to add here at the end to the wonderful 166 of you that are still around, and you're getting the secret there if you do like those courses and you don't want to have to always go to the dojo for those ones. That's why the Dojo 2.0 is going to have more stuff like this, webinars that we've done, recordings, best practices, Q&A sessions, that type of thing, where if you think about it, your product comes with a manual, right? And those are those white belt, green belt, black belt courses. And then you go to the dojo for the more best practice type things as we go along. So super excited about that. Josh and Gabe, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming up with these great topics. Also, if you have any other people out there, if you have any other topics that you'd like to see, you wrote some of them I see here in the questions. We'll pull from that. For the next one. Again, we're getting on a cadence. We're going to be offering these more, bringing in more folks to answer questions and such. The next one won't be content like this. The next one would be a Q&A session, right? It would be more of all right, let's take some questions around these topics, right? So that it's not just the Wild West. We'll go from there.
This one was unique because we had a list of 5 to go through, but that's not going to be the normal format.
yeah. I mean, we might do one. We might do that again. A couple more. We'll mix and match. We'll sprinkle some in.
Sure.
But we want you to have direct contact with us to be able to ask specific questions and around the topics that we have. So, yeah. Thanks again for everybody. Gina, thank you for setting all this up. She was our behind-the-scenes tech person helping us out today. So thanks for that. We really look forward to working with you more. Thanks for being sticking with us and being awesome Litmos customers. And I mean, we do think the world of you, and we want you to stay safe out there. So thanks for everything, and we will talk to you again on the next one. Look out for the emails we'll send out soon when we're going to be doing the next one. So take care, everybody. Stay safe out there. Bye now.
Thank you all so much. Take care.